Hey y'all, what's up? It's Kellen with K&T Do Halloween. I hope everybody is staying safe and sane and keeping it together. Crazy times. But I have something kind of fun to share today. A few months ago, we ordered a costume from a local costume shop. It's Dark Creations ATX. For those of you that don't know, ATX stands for Austin, Texas. They're an amazing costume shop, and I believe they do props as well. That is located out of Buda, Texas, beautiful Buda, which is just south of Austin. We've been following them for a couple years and always wanted to purchase something from them, but typically for us, we build our own costumes, construct them, make them from found items to kind of fit our theme. Rarely do we go out and purchase costumes specifically for a theme, just kind of how it usually works out. But given this year, we are kind of unsure what's going on with Halloween. We definitely know we won't be decorating. However, we did want to dress up and at least do something. I needed something to do with that area. So we decided to purchase some costumes, some clown costumes that you can see behind me from Dark Creations ATX. In this video, I just want to go through what I think of them, sizing, things like that, and kind of shout out to a haunt vendor that we really admire and kind of lift them up given everything that's going on. I know a lot of other YouTubers out there, especially who do home haunts and Halloween DIY and things like that, have been reaching out to their favorite vendors in the industry to show support. And we wanted to do something similar for something that was in a company that was in Texas, and we purchased these two clown costumes behind me. So I want to show you kind of the ins and outs of them and our plans for them. So we've always had a zombie theme that typically sways more towards the Walking Dead aesthetic or medical aesthetic. Rarely do we ever get to dive into the realm of clowns, which is always, I think, super fun to dress up as. And we decided this year that we were going to create two characters around clowns that my husband and I could wear that would complement each other. So we purchased the costumes behind us. Originally, I think this one is called Syn, and this one is called Rye. They're from the Stitches collection. Stitches or Patches, I know I'm getting that wrong. I believe it's a Stitches collection, but it's their own unique concept and take on clowns and not the traditional jumpsuits. They also build those costumes as well, so definitely check them out if you're really looking to get any sort of clown costume. That's really what they specialize in, although they do kind of the gamut of feature movie costumes and things like that. So this one will be my costume, and this one will be Tom's costume. And we decided the characters that we're going to portray are Trick and Treat. And what we wanted to do is play off of the theater mask, so the comedy, tragedy, the happy, sad, and we'll be basing the two characters off of that. And they will go, side by side with each other. And if we go to a costume party or things like that, this will be kind of our go-to costume grab as, I guess, a couple's costume, which we've never really done, but it was really fun to purchase these items. I've been around theater in New York and on Broadway and also in film, so I'm definitely familiar with high quality costumes, and I would have to say that these absolutely fall in that category. We were actually surprised even when we opened the box. Typically when you order Halloween stuff, and it's not a knock to any Halloween items, but they have like a spray paint smell or a latex smell, which I particularly love, but that just sort of comes along with the items. These, they smell amazing. It's actually crazy because when you open the box, you look at them and you're like, oh man, they're gonna smell like the distressing process. And I have to say, they don't at all. Now, these are distressed costumes. They also make clean versions of their clown costumes and zombies and everything like that. But they make both variants. So this is a distressed version of their Syn costume, and then this is a distressed version of their Rye costume. The costumes come with 4 pieces. They come with a really well-packed hat that I'll open up afterwards. Set that down. They also come with the separate neck ruffle, which this thing is awesome. It's super comfortable when we've tried it on. You can see that it was definitely done by somebody, a seamstress who knows what they're doing for sure. You can see that they used a serger machine to really seal the edges on everything, and you know, it feels like a solid piece. And I like that and they build their ruffles separate, so you can kind of layer them on as you put your mask on and things like that. And you can take them off if you're somebody who's claustrophobic or anything like that. Doesn't bother us, but that's the first piece that comes with it. Again, I'm going to lay it down. The second piece is going to be the shirt, third piece. Can't count today. Third piece is going to be the shirt, and then fourth is going to be the pants. So some of the amazing details I definitely want to come in and show you is things like the tags on the inside. So you can see Dark Creations ATX, you can see the size, you can see the stitching is done really, really well. These pom-poms that they have on the front, they come off, and I'll show you just the inside of them because I don't really want to take them off right now. But for cleaning, they do have a button hole on them. You can kind of see that, a big orange button. So each pom-pom on the front can come off as well. You can see they've done great detail with the wrists, these awesome, you know, clown ruffles, I guess. I love their take on kind of an aged clown. Some other things you can kind of see is this really awesome fabric that they've worked into there. We have some skulls. We have some, sorry about that. We have some ravens, the moon, expert clown polka dots, some more of that ravens fabric. You can see the back. And the distressing on these is incredible. You can tell that they've used some bleach and some dyes, but the fact that it feels super clean, even though it looks so dirty, kind of really blew me away. And the quality of these pieces is really incredible. They're not cheap. It took us kind of a while of being admirers to be ready to take the leap. I think these costumes range anywhere from $200 clean, and they have some that go up to $500, and their feature costumes or custom costumes and things like that, I believe they go into the thousands, but justified after seeing them for sure. They're top notch. You can see as I'm taking this off, another amazing detail that they thought of is these really great pant hangers. So you don't have to fold them over on the center of the hanger. They actually have something to hang from and dry, which is really nice. And this is really, for me, a trademark of a professional costume house that really knows what they're doing. Set the hanger down. Same thing in the pants. You can see that they have their tags stitched in. They have the size. Pants are really great because they have this awesome just detail at the bottom with ribbon fraying. But you can also flip to the other side and see that they've taken great care to really use a serger machine and stitch that hem on the bottom to make sure that it doesn't fall apart, because these things are probably going to get used and abused, and you want them to stay together. Inside as well, really awesome stitching, really solid. And the patchwork is actually stitched on top of the base fabric for both the pants and the shirt. Really nice. Really, really happy with these. You can see they've continued that skeleton kind of Dias de las Muertas. I know I said that wrong. I probably butchered it. But skull pattern on the back. Really, I just love this take on kind of a carnival clown that's just kind of been lost and forgotten, almost maybe more of the nightmare realm of things. So I will try that costume on after I show you this one. Oh, before I do that, I said they do come with a hat, and they do. pull this guy out. So it has elastic on the bottom so you can strap it on. And you can see it's made with the same fabric. The proportions are just awesome. I mean, when you compare it to the costume, it kind of completes that look that everybody really kind of stylizes, that silhouette of a clown. But this is a really fun detail, really distressed. So that comes with it as well. Now the Rye clown complements it. You can see we did the black and white and then the orange and black Halloween, traditional colors, but it comes with the ruffled collar. It comes with the hat as well. And I'll take the hat out because this one it's exactly the same, but obviously they're using the same fabric from the Rye costume. Really love the detail on this, the distressing, and it feels solid. So the hat is made out of foam. It's flexible. You don't have to worry about it really breaking or anything like that. It does have the hollow inside and the elastic that goes on top. Really nice. So I'll bring this guy a little closer. You can see the ruffle detail, which has 3 layers. So it has the actual pointed ruffle on the top. It has a layer of netting, and then it has a layer of tulle underneath that in 2 different colors that really catch the light. And the fun thing about the top piece, especially on this one, is actually a gold kind of reflective fabric, which is always super fun when using in haunt costumes because it catches the light really well. And then they've distressed it down over the top. This one as well has the tag on the inside. Really quality. You can see the back. I love the fabric that they used on this costume. One of its kind of silhouettes in a pattern of tombstones and cats, which I think is really unique. It's not a pattern you see that I've seen very often. And they've repeated that on the front. And then they basically have used just kind of different brown swirl patterns and things like that. This kind of psychedelic looking pattern on the bottom. Really love this costume. I love that they have the solid color pom-poms that they've distressed. Again, it has the buttons, as you can see, for cleaning. On this one, where you can pull them off. Really, really quality piece. Beautiful job with Dark Creations ATX. Really happy with these costumes. Again, they were not cheap, but we really wanted to support a local vendor that we've been admiring, and kind of wanted to build these 2 characters around these 2 costumes. Some other things that we are working on for these costumes, and I'm sorry I'm ducking a bit out of camera to grab a few things, is we grabbed, so clown shoes are really expensive. They're expensive, they're hard to find, and kind of the ones that you can find at Party City and things like that, they're just not great. We didn't really like them. So we hunted around for an affordable clown shoe option. Most of the ones that we saw that were actual clown shoes, mad respect for anybody who's a professional clown out there, they range from $300, up to thousands of dollars for these really ornate vintage custom clown shoes. We didn't have the budget for that, but what we did find were these. So these we found online, and if you're wondering, it was from a store that sells glitter high heels and things like that, which was surprising to find something like this. But it came from a high heel shoe company that we found these. And so one size fits all. I think they go up to like a size 16 because there is padding in the toe. But we found these for about $60 a piece, which I said, absolutely. I like the proportions of them. I like the sizing. I like the bulbous toe look, and they weren't a fortune. So the plan is that we are going to paint and distress these down, probably in a black or brown for each costume to kind of complement and grunge them up a bit. But these we found from a online stripper, shoe store, $60. So we got 2 pairs of these, which they're, you know, not cheap, but we wanted them to complete the costume because it would kind of kill the look to, you know, have all the creepy clown stuff and then go down and, you know, see some Nikes or something like that. Other things we've done for each costume is we've gotten some Wicked Witch looking striped socks. We did initially dye these down so they just weren't so punchy in both colors. We will go back and probably spray paint them and age them to kind of go with the costumes, but you can see they'll go with this costume and then these will go with my costume. Another thing that we wanted to do was we wanted to add some gloves. Now, most clown gloves that we saw were completely cut off fingertips, which I think is really cool. We actually did make a set for each of us that are completely cut off fingertip wise. The downside to that, in my opinion, is that you have to make up your fingers or kind of grunge them up so they don't really pop against the costume. Now, I'd seen a video online where somebody had used something that's, I think it's SD Costume Guy, had used these thing called magician's thumbs to paint and stick underneath his gloves to act as, you know, finger additions that you didn't have to add makeup to. So these are one of the gloves we created. We did just use a rasp on them and some sandpaper to really kind of grunge them up. You can see, put one of the other ones on to really grunge the back of them up because white really pops against these distressed costumes. I was a bit shocked, but we wanted to grunge them up. We'll paint them a bit more. And then we went through and added these finger additions. So I've already painted these. They come unpainted, but I want to show you what they look like. So I think what they use these for is the handkerchief trick where they stuff the handkerchief in their hand and stick it on their thumb and then go, oh, it disappeared, which is a great trick. But that's what these are used for. So I painted in the quick at the bottom of the nail, a little bit of white on the top. I know SD Costume Guy adds nails to his. I just didn't feel it necessary with these as my voice cracks. And the lights flicker because we have a thunderstorm going on. I didn't feel it necessary to add a nail to them because 1, it was another step that I didn't want to do. And 2, I thought they looked fairly convincing as they were. So you can see, I put it on and you can see this is a different hand, different finger, but what they look like. I think that's awesome. I don't have to make up my finger underneath it. You do see a little bit of the joint underneath, which I can pat it out a little bit, but I like that I don't have to add makeup to my finger. So that's a really neat trick that I saw online and added to this costume, and we'll each have some really gnarly gloves. We'll add some black smears on there for the grease paint on the face, things like that. But when you want to take this guy off, you basically pull it off, finger comes underneath, and you're good to go. And it's clean, you don't have to get it all over your phone. Here's another one that was painted for Tom's gloves. And that was a really fun addition. So that's the plan for the costumes. So I think now I'm just going to try these on so you guys can see how they fit. So oh, I went too far. This isn't right. Let's try again. Great holiday. Wrong costume. Got it. That snap thing is much harder than it looks. So this is the costume. I love it. It fits great. It's one of the most comfortable costumes I've probably ever put on. The ruffles feel perfect where they hit on the wrist. They're not too long. You can see it's a 2-piece. Pants underneath. You can pull the pants up higher if you want less baggy saggy at the bottom. But I love it. I love how they puddle at the bottom. I know it's a little hard to see until I pull my feet up, but it just feels awesome. Such a quality costume. So for anybody out there who's interested or who has been looking to purchase a costume from Dark Creations ATX, a little bit on the sizing. We were kind of unsure because when you're purchasing for a clown costume, to some degree you want it oversized, but you're always wondering, are they accommodating for that? If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to them. This particular one and this particular one are in an extra large size. I'm 6'1", about 180 pounds plus some shipping and handling and things like that. My husband's a little bit bigger than me. He's 6'3", but both of these costumes fit us absolutely perfectly. Just the right amount of baggy. Once we go through and actually paint the shoes to go with them, really excited. Now we've also chosen to have some custom masks done that will again be complementing that theme trick or treat with the comedy and tragedy theater masks, and we'll show those later on when they're finished. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I can't wait to finish distressing the accessories for this costume and show you guys the two completed looks for trick or treat, the costumes that we're creating. I'm super excited about it. Thank you, Dark Creations ATX, for doing what y'all do and just making some really awesome stuff. If you haven't checked them out, be sure to check out their website. They are closed for new costumes, I think distressed costumes for the 2020 season. Actually, I think tomorrow, August 1st, is when they're closing completely as far as new orders to be made in time for 2020. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't go check them out. They do have some ready to ship costumes, which are already ready to go. If you're interested in those, go ahead and show them some love and support. Also, I have a little bit of a challenge out there for some of my fellow YouTubers. I know that the haunt industry as a whole, with Transworld being canceled, is struggling with uncertainty this year. So I wanted to film this video because I wanted to shout out to one of the many Halloween haunted house vendors, manufacturers out there, to just show them some love and support during obviously this kind of chaotic and crazy time. We want this industry to be around, so I want to hear from you guys. What are your favorite haunt vendors? Who are you showing love and support to this year, especially with everything going on? So I can't wait to see the videos or hear back from you guys with who you're showing some love to with 2020. With that, I'm out. I'm not going to try the snap thing again because I don't even know what kind of costume that I'll end up in. But I hope everybody is staying safe and sane. And here's to 2021. Bye, y'all.